Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I think I will go back to some of my first love, which is watercolor, and I will try to replicate a picture taken by my father a few months ago when he was in south of France, and there were those big leaves and they had a drop of water at the center of it, and it's really nice. So a few years ago now, I think maybe 1 year or 2 years ago, I've tried to follow a tutorial from Emily Olson Art, which shows how to draw a leaf with drops of water on top of it. And this time it's a bit different because it's inside the leaf, not on top of the leaf. So I think the colors will be a little different. There will be less shadows underneath the drop. But yeah, I'll see what I can do. So I have the picture on my computer here. I'm just gonna put some masking tape to have some nice borders. And by the way, I'm using just some like normal masking tape, not some specific painter masking tape, and it's quite strong. And this paper is, I think it's bamboo fibers, so it wraps up quite easily. And recently I found out that if you're using a hairdryer and you heat up the masking tape, it goes off really easily and it don't rip off your paper. So I've done that lately and it works really fine. So this is taped now. And also I like to use this time also to announce that I've launched my Patreon page. So I link it also in the description, but you can follow me there and you can support me there. And what I'd like to do is to try to launch maybe an Etsy shop and to be able to do some posters and some stickers. So if there are some of my art you'd like to see in posters or stickers, just let me know in the comments. And on my Etsy, if you contribute, you will have access to more exclusive content, like my process for doing art, some sketchbook tours that I haven't done in Instagram or in YouTube videos, some other art pieces with high quality scans of my art pieces, some polls to participate in what will be my future art and everything. So yeah, I just launched my page here, and as you can see, small description and some of my sketchbook tours and some of my art that is accessible to everyone. So just go and check it. It's linked in the description, and it will help me very much if you go and check it. And also, as always, if you like this video, just like and subscribe, and it helps me also to continue doing this. So first I'm gonna quickly sketch out the shape of the leaf. So there are some other leaves around, but I think I'm just gonna do a wash in the background. So I'm gonna put some water all around and do some dark green background, because the leaf is a light green, so I think it will show more the leaf if I do a dark background. And maybe just put some shapes of lighter green so that you get the impression that there are some other leaves around also. Okay, so I'm gonna start with some gray. And add different greens on top. So I don't want the colors to be uniform, so I'm using a variety of different colors and just putting them while everything is still wet. So you have to work quite fast to make sure that it still blends properly with everything being still wet, otherwise you will have some hard edges around what you're doing, and that's not what we're looking for here. It will dry out being a little lighter than it is now, but I think it sets a pretty good mood for for the background, so I'm gonna keep it like this, and I can always do another wash on top of it if I want to go a little bit different afterwards. So now I'm gonna use first a yellow to go on my leaf everywhere, including at the center. I hope the background noise is not too annoying because there's some work going on outside, and my window is open to get some wind. So I hope it's okay. So I'm using a light yellow-green now to go, it wasn't. Okay, so you have to wait for your background to be entirely dry to do so. So I'm just gonna quickly grab my hair dryer and continue afterwards. So using the hair dryer now. I never used to use a hair dryer, at first because I didn't have a hair dryer before, but it really helps to ease the process of watercolor and to make sure that you don't have those kind of stuff. And if you don't have a lot of time to do your watercolor and you want to do it all at once, it's easier than to have to wait for everything to dry before you can put the next layer on top. So you just use the hair dryer, dry the layer you've been working on, and you can move on to the next one. And same with gouache. Now that I'm doing some gouache, I'm using it also with gouache, and it really helps. Okay, so here is my first green yellow layer, and now I'm gonna use a mix of green and yellow actually to have a really yellowish green, and I'm gonna put that on top while it's still a bit wet. And this time I'm trying to start to add the texture of the leaf. So the leaf is really going this direction, so I'm trying to use brush strokes that follow the shape of the leaf. Okay, I will go back to it afterwards with even darker greens, but for now I'm going to switch to a smaller brush, and I'm going to use a really dark green, so a mix of Payne's Gray and of sap green. I love sap green, I'm using sap green all the time. All the mixes you've seen are made with sap green right now. And I'm just gonna outline. I'm gonna first use my hair dryer. No, so first I'm gonna fix this mistake here. Okay. So now I'm gonna use my hair dryer, and I don't know if you noticed, but to fix the mistake I just used a scrap of tissue while it's still wet, and then I go with my dry and clean brush just to mix the area where the color was missing with the rest, and it kind of fixed the problem. Okay, now it should be dry, and I'm gonna, yeah, perfect. So I'm gonna outline actually with this dark green the shape of the droplet, like so. And then I'm gonna use a dark green to go inside, but leaving some border around it and leaving some white space. And actually the very center is lighter, so I'm gonna use a clean brush and just lift some of this dark green to make the center a little bit more light green. So I'm just lifting with the clean brush And for that you have to use non-staining colors, otherwise when you're lifting you're still gonna have the color. And I'm gonna add now the yellowish green instead of this dark green at the center. And now with my clean brush I'm just gonna blur a little bit the edges so that it all come together. And same, I'm gonna blur the outside edges. Take it same direction as the flow of the leaf. So it's not a tutorial, I'm making it as I'm going. I didn't really think about how I was going to approach this painting. I'm just having my reference and trying to find out how to do it while doing it. So now with the dark green, I'm gonna add some of this shape here. And I'm using a slightly lighter dark green to work again on the whole leaf, like so. And I'm making it darker around the center to give a sense of depth. For now, I must admit I'm not really liking how it is turning out, but I'm trying to trust the process and hope I can fix it. Watercolor can be quite hard to fix compared to other medium where you can just go on top. Watercolor, you can't really go on top of it, so you really have to make sure you haven't gone too dark too quickly, otherwise you can't really change it. But apart from the color issues, usually you can fix quite a lot. So let's see if I manage to fix some of it. So I think I'm gonna dry this and then put, I feel like it's too light, so I'm gonna put some green on top of everything and see how to go from there. Okay, so now I'm wetting the whole leaf because I want to go a little darker, and while it's wet also put some kind of gradient. So I'm gonna go green here. Like so, and I'm gonna go also with the dark green while it's still wet. So just to show a little bit more the shape of the leaf, like hopefully show a little bit more the shape of the leaf. And show a little bit more the shadows and the leaf is folding and everything. So adding in some specific place darker green will hopefully help give a sense that it is actually a leaf. So I'm using kind of a dry brush to do so. And now I'm gonna go even darker in the very center. I never really managed to make a dark brush effect on purpose, but I really like how it turns out now, so pretty great. And I think I'm gonna go now with straight Payne's gray around here, because as it's still wet it will mix with the green that is underneath, so hopefully it won't look too dark. But I think it lacks a little bit of contrast, so I'm going in with more contrast now. Okay, and now I'm gonna use a yellowish green to work on the edge of the leaf. Okay, so I've just cleaned up a little bit the edges, and for the final touches I'm gonna go in with a white pen and just add some of the reflection on this drop. So I'm just working on the edge with different colors depending on the effect I wanna get. And for the final part, I'm gonna go even darker for the background here, because I feel like the leaf is not really coming out of its background. So I'm just gonna go with an even darker green for the background all around this leaf. So with a clean brush, I'm putting some water all over again, and I'm mixing a really dark green with paint gray and sap green, and I'm putting it all over. And as for the first time, I'm also gonna leave some different colors around, but I want the whole thing to be darker as a whole. So after some final touches, here is finally how it all looks like. Here it is, and I hope you enjoyed, and as always, if you enjoyed, just like and subscribe please, and don't forget to turn on your notification, and you can also follow me on Instagram and on Patreon, as I recently launched my page, and it will be all linked in the description. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and have a nice rest of your week, and see you in my next video. Bye!